Donald Trump versus Thomas Massie. That's right. Donald Trump versus Thomas Massie. Representative Thomas Massie isn't bothered by President Donald Trump, and he recently was on Theo Von's show as well, asking where Theo Von asked Representative Thomas Massie, what do we get out of this? Now, as it stands right now, currently as it stands, the ceasefire is possibly, maybe in effect. Donald Trump dropped an F-bomb on him after all. We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. But Theo Von asked a question, you know. And listen, I've been critical of influencers. I know Theo Von, definitely he was on board with Donald Trump. He interviewed Donald Trump, but I think I at least find it refreshing when people like him at least have a platform to say, hey, what are we doing in Gaza? Hey, we shouldn't be at war. I mean, it's important. And I hope that causes much of his audience to ask the same question. Like, why are we allowing this crisis in Gaza to continue on? Why are we involved with this war between Israel and Iran? Like, what do we get out of it? So I think it's only fair that we do pull this video up here. And again, hear it out from both sides.
Do you feel like Israel is a fair ally? Are they a good ally for us?
Well,
or is that too general of a question?
Well, I think it doesn't matter. Like, there's no big, giant, Great Britain lobby. There's no Australian lobby. There's no German lobby.
Oh, the other countries don't have them.
No, not like this. This is singular. This is
the APAC ambassadors
is unique. I mean, if you're an ally, why wouldn't we work with you? Why do you have to convince us that you're our ally? Why do you have to basically go into every
destruction that never needed to happen, all because Netanyahu was having some domestic policies at home that was causing him some trouble? Never forget, man, Netanyahu's government was falling apart before October 7th, 2023. I mean, that is important. You had a wag the dog moment, but here's the thing. You only could wag the dog for so long.
If you say how many have been maimed, it's probably 3 or 4 times that. So everybody in Gaza knows people who've been killed and maimed.
And we're supporting regular, everyday people who would want to do these things, you know, that it's like governments making these choices and it's corporate interests that make these choices. How would we stop it? Well, do we need this connection with Israel? What is it? No one ever explains what it's for, I feel like, right? That would help everybody have a much better understanding, you know, because it starts to feel like America is just a shell company, an LLC for Israel. That's what it starts to feel like a lot of times, you know? Do you feel like that's realistic, or do you feel like that's off base?
I wouldn't send them a dime. Like, that's my position. I don't think whatever we're getting isn't worth it.
No, it ain't worth it, especially with needless deaths and destruction. I also want to pull up this article here as well. Representative Thomas Massie said Monday he isn't bothered by President Trump's latest push for his ouster because Trump right now is actively pushing together a campaign to remove Representative Thomas Massie and support a primary challenger against Representative Thomas Massie. I have some sense. I have the Trump antibodies, Massie said in an interview with MSNBC's All In with Chris Hayes. He added, there are a few people who are consistent and don't sway in the wind when it's your president or somebody else's president, and I'm just trying to be consistent here in this case. In their latest skirmish, Trump urged his Make America Great Again movement to ostracize a Kentucky Republican after he blasted the president for sidestepping Congress in order to order airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities on Saturday. That was a lot of fun to watch, right? Massie called the move unconstitutional, to which Trump not tweeted out, but posted on his Troop social, MAGA should drop this pathetic loser, Thomas Massie, like the plague. The good news is that we have a wonderful American patriot running against him in the Republican primary. I'll be out in Kentucky campaigning really hard. MAGA is not about lazy, grandstanding, non-productive politicians, to which Thomas Massie is definitely one. Now, Trump and Massie have been feuding over the president's agenda, especially the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, where again, the Big Beautiful Bill, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, everything is going to be on the chopping block. Representative Massie said, I'm more of an ideologue than a populist. I'll admit that. But at least if you're an ideologue, you know where your ideas are. And with populism, you can blow in the wind. I'm worried that in the first 6 months here, we've always sort of gone astray of what was one of the basic principles of putting America first. The congressman and libertarian-leaning engineer and inventor wears a digital badge that constantly keeps track of the federal debt in real time. But he recently joked on social media that he should reprogram it to display the number of milliseconds that have elapsed since Trump had tweeted at me last. Trump's team reportedly had been mulling potential challengers for Massie, who was first elected in 2012 and is seeking a 7th term next fall. He easily won re-election last fall, fending off 2 primary challengers in Kentucky's Ruby Red 4th Congressional District. Well, it says a lot. And look, Representative Thomas Massie was only one of the few politicians to actually step up and call for immediate war powers and call for an immediate halt of any kind of military action that is taking place in Iran. And, you know, when it comes down to it, I'm going to take whoever I can get. That's the goal here at this point. There's no other option. What other choice do we have but then to acknowledge the fact that we need to have people who are going to be serious and defend us, defend our rights as citizens, and also prevent us from being involved in pointless, useless wars that all what they're going to do is cause more pain and suffering for us all. I don't like that. I stand against it, as should all of us. And Representative Thomas Massie has the courage to step forward. And I'm glad that he's stepping forward. I'm glad that he has the courage. I'm glad that he has the strength to actually stand by his convictions. So people in Kentucky, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but at least you got a politician that's consistent. And already I do hope that this ceasefire is sustainable, but let's say it is. It's a 12-day ceasefire. So let's say starting today, let's say starting today, the ceasefire is in effect. So starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means next Saturday will be the 12th day. So what happens on Saturday, July 5th, or what happens on Sunday, July 6th, the day after? Do we see hostilities once again be re-engaged? Is Israel launching airstrikes? Is the U.S. going to be part of those airstrikes? Is Iran going to be firing more ballistic missiles into Israel or towards U.S. military bases? Some consistency here, folks, because nothing is ever truly over. Nothing is.